What's going on, everyone? If you're tired of brick infusions, wasting resources, and still not getting those 5/5 deviants, this video is for you. Today I'm breaking down 10 fusion tricks that will make fusing easier, way less painful, and massively increase your chances of pulling rare traits. If you're ready to stop guessing, start crafting like a pro, and become a true deviant master, let's get into it. So the first tip I'm going to give you is to start a mushroom farm. Because in addition to getting mushrooms and seeds, they will also produce the grow shroom deviants. I got 4 securement units going. I just throw 1,000 seed, 1,000 yield boost in, and you'll get all of these donor deviants, all these grow shrooms. And what I do is just collect them about every 24 hours. And these are this is a perfect setup, especially if you have multiple characters. This is my first character, and then my gardener, which is across the street. I grow all my other stuff, but this house is just a grow shroom, and in no time you'll have a lot of donor deviants stacked up. Now for tip number 2, save any grow shrooms with an activity or a skill rating of 5. What you're going to want to do is combine these 4 5s, 3 5s together, and hopefully you will get 5 5s. I know I've used this one, but you'll get 5 5s that you can merge into others. Don't worry about the traits right now. You can always work your magic later down the road. On to tip number 3, and that is going to be to learn your different traits and symbols. So you'll start to learn how they replace one another. And I've got a combat deviant and a territorial deviant. I'm going to quickly go through the different traits. So you have general traits, which are these little diamonds. You have combat traits, which is this little lightning bolt. And this combat move more, live better is this whelp-up right here. That's where it's coming from. And then you have deviated traits. Now, this is the different animals that you fuse. So the wolf is moonlight, bear's brute force, the buffalo is top grunt, and so on. Those are all your deviated. And if I click on this territorial deviant, you see this combat deviant here. If I click on this artisan touch, it can't have a combat. It's going to have a gadget trait. So this is unhinged production. There's a lot of other ones. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. But start learning your symbols. Pay attention to the differences in combat and territorial, and you'll start to see how you can work your magic to make deviants better. On to tip number 4, save all of your blue grow shrooms. These have the green touch territory trait. There's a new symbol for you to learn. These are good for wiping out bad traits that you don't want, such as holding the team back. You can see these are both territory. And obviously this is a 50-50 chance. If you really wanted this off, you would throw 3 more blues in the center. I'm not going to start this up. I'm just throwing 1. And you can see it raises the chance or lowers the chance that you'll have that bad trait. So save all of your blue grow shrooms regardless of rating or whatever traits they have on them. Tip number 5, save all of your oneplus territory deviants. This is also good for eliminating bad traits such as holding the team back. But it's also, if you read what the actual trait does, there's a 5% chance for deviants with this to bring back rare crystals. So this is a good one to put on Digbees and beavers, things like that are going to work your territory, give you a little crystal bump, and take away one of these bad traits. These 1+ territory traits will also go back or will go on deviants like Rebecca here. Yeah, this one's got one. Even though she won't bring back crystals, if she had holding the team back, you could add 1+ to her and make this deviant a little bit better. Now on to tip number 6 and 7. These kind of tie into one another, so I will cover them together. First thing is save all of your deviants that you plan on fusing that have no traits, irregardless of the power level. If you're planning on breeding them, save the ones with no traits, because this is a trick you can use. And this applies to any deviant, okay? This just happens to be another grow shroom example. But in this case, the shadow shroom, which I have right here, is a rare deviant. You cannot grow these through your mushroom farm. I got this one through picking up the securement units across the map. Anyways, these are a rare drop. So what you can do with these no traits is throw your shadow shroom in. Again, this could be any deviant. This could be a voodoo doll, and you would just use the rare voodoo doll or the rare trait that you're wanting to duplicate, and then just a no trait voodoo doll. Okay. Anyways, so in this case, shadow shroom, no trait, grow shroom. And then what we're going to do in the middle is put more no traits in there and watch what it does to the shadow shroom. So there's one. There's one. Obviously, I'm not going to hit begin fusion. But anyways, notice how the shadow shroom now went up to an 80% chance. So, and that's just by using no trait mushrooms. And what it does is instead of a 50% chance to get a shadow shroom, now you're at 80%. And this can apply to hard to get traits like unhinged production or certain combat traits like psychic kid or crack shot. So this 80% trick is a big thing to have on your side. Just be aware to save on to no trait deviants. Has to be the same one. So if it's an artisan touch with unhinged, it's got to be a no trait artisan hinge. If it's a well pup with crack shot, let's say, you want a plain well pup. Doesn't matter the skill, the skill rating or activity rating. This is as long as it's no trait, and then you can take that really good trait that you want and raise it up to 80% chance of getting it. On to tip number 8. Consider using vending machines. And the reason why you want to use vending machines is because they hold 99 items. So you can organize all of your deviants into different categories, rare traits. You know, you might have one like this one. These are all my level 5s. These are my rare traits. You can organize it however you want, but you have 99 spots because if you can't use too many of these deviation crates because they only hold 16. So make sure to put, you're probably not going to need this many, but put all your vending machines that are holding deviants on a switchable pylon. That way you can turn it on and off because you don't want a neighbor coming in and buying your ultra rare deviants right underneath your nose. Tip number 9. Well, I've just kind of disowned the deviation storage crates. Here's why you want to use some of them. So you can put rare items or current projects in these deviation crates. Like I had a little Digby project going on. And when they are in this deviation storage crate versus the vending machine, when you come to your fusion pod, let me take these gals out. Let me go back in here. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, this is where all of those deviants and those storage crates are. Of course, if we back out of that, these vending machines won't access in the fusion pod because these are not technically storage, but these are. So this is a good way to organize your current projects, or like I keep oneplus deviants, oneplus mushrooms in here, for example. And that way when I'm working on a project, I'm like, oh, I need a Digby or I need, oneplus, and you can just scroll all the way to the bottom and that's where they'll be. And 2, like these are, even if they're non-fusible, which let me put 2 random things in. Same thing if they're non-fusible. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, all those non-fusible ones, they'll be in there too. And tip number 10, last one. Consider using a storage crate to keep all of your donor animals, especially if you have a lot of animals like me. This is my first character, which is a Beastmaster. So all of these crates are full of animals. I think there's some here too. And some of these are really rare, like rare patterned, animals, or they're attack animals. I don't want to use them. So put you a storage crate and all of the animals that that you're done with, you're not going to use them. Put them in this crate because you can just take 2 animals out. And then when you're working on a fusion project and it's time to add animals, the animals that are in your inventory will be at the top. Okay. And if I back out of here, put these wolves back in here, since I don't have them on, if I go here, see how now it's put the wolves are at the bottom. They're just mixed in with everything else. They're in no particular order. So some of these wolves that are here will be ones that I want to keep. They're in these crates, so having you a spare crate beside you where you can just pull out the crappy wolves and have them on your person, so you don't use like a rare pattern or an extremely good attack wolf or bear. Having the crate here will allow you to save a little time. That's a wrap for this video, but this is just the beginning. More Deviant Fusion projects, more rare traits, and more 5.5 attempts coming soon. I'm done talking. Go fuse something.